Vasam Sudendra Garvamochanam Namami Nandanandanam Prajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jaganmana Pralobanam Namami Nandanandanam Shinandanastakam Pateya Shadayanvita Tade Bhavam Vidushtanam Labetarang Diyum Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vakta Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Shuna Sangate Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Ashoka Vriskavalari Vitana Mandapastite Pravala Vala Palava Prabhanurangri Komale Parabayas Puradkare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Karisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Pangora Bhuvam Sivibramam Sasabramam Trikanta Banapatini Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Tadit Sarvana Champaka Pradipta Gara Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendu Mandale Vichita Chita Sanchara Chakora Shavalochane Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Madho Madati Yovane Pramoda Manamandite Priyanuragda Ranjite Kalavilasa Pandite Ananya Danya Kunjaraja Kamake Likovide Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Sheshahav Bhavadira Hira Hara Bhushite Prabhuta Shata Kumbha Kumbha Kumbhi Kumbhi Shushtane Prashasta Mandahasya Chona Purna Sokya Sagare Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Mrinala Valari Taranga Ranga Dolate Latagra Lasya Lola Nila Lochana Valokane Lala Lulan Milan Manogda Mugda Mohana Shrite Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Survana Malikanchita Chireka Kambukantage Trisutra Mangali Guna Chirana Dipti Didhiti Salola Nila Kadakadishasihamam Bhakatakshabhajanam Nitim Babim Valambamana Puspamekalagune Pradastarana Kinkani Kalapamadya Manjule Karendra Shunda Dandika Varoha Sobagaruke Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Aneka Mantra Nandamag Nupudara Vaskalat Samajara Savamsha Nikvanati Goruve Pilolahe Mavalari Vidambi Chadu Chankrame Shasihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Ananda Koti Vishnu Lokanama Padmajajite Hiramrija Palomaja Vidincha Javada Prade Apara Siddhidida Satpada Gulina Kai Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Makeshvari Kriyeshvari Swadeshvari Sureshvari Triveda Bhadateshvari Brahmana Shashaneshvari Rameshvari Kshameshvari Pramoda Kananeshvari Rajeshvari Vajaripe Shiradike Namostute Iti Mamad Bhutam Stavam Nishamya Panunandini Karotu Santatam Janam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Paveta Daiva Sanchita Chirupa Karma Nashanam Tada Rajendra Suna Mandala Praveshanam Kadakadisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe
It's hard, even I change in the middle to the night one. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Violuka Ladavamanam Paramrishchamachan Tato Jutya Gopya Rudantamunetra Yugmam Rijantam Kadamboja Yugmena Shatankanetram Muhuswaswakampa Chirekanka Sita Graiva Dhammo Jadam Bhakti Varam Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Iriki Swali Labira Nanda Kunte Swagoshami Majantam Akapayantam Tadiyeshita Geshu Bhaktejitadvam Puna Prema Tastam Shatariti Vande Namami Shradam Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Param Deva Moksham Namokshadadimva Nachanyam Vineham Varishadapiha Idam Teva Punata Gopala Balam Sadame Manasya Virastam Kimanya Namami Shwadam Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Idam te mukam bojam avyakta nilar Ritam kuntale snigdar aktais shakopya Muhushubintam bimbar aktadarame Manasya virastam alam lakshalabye Namami shwadam sachidananda rupam Lasakundalam gokule brajamanam Namo Deva Damo Dharnanta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukha Jalabdi Magna Kripajisti Vristyati Dinambatanu Gyanesha Mahamagyanedi Akshidrisya Namami Shradam Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Kuvyat Macho Bada Murtaiva Yadvad Twaya Mochito Bhakti Bajo Kritocha Tata Prema Bhakti Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Gaho Misti Damodareha Namami Shradam Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namaste Sudamne Spratipti Damne Twadyodarayata Vishwashwadamne Namaradikaye Twadyapriyaye Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namaradikaye Twadyapriyaye Namo Radhikaye Twadyapriyaye Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Raman Bihari Radha Raman Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Radhe Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana, Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana. Jaya Radha Kunda Jaya Shama Kunda, Radha Kunda Jaya Shama Kunda. Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurahari, Sachinandan Jaya Gaurahari. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Gaura Premanande. I think we didn't finish Prikrama Radhakund and Kushum Sarovar. We could sing Radhakund Tattva Chintamani Moy, Chaitanya Shakti. Well, maybe at the end, or at the end, before we leave Radhakund. That's true. Huh? It's time. Oh, we did Radhakund Astakam this morning. Santi Haridas. Haridas is supposed to speak at Kushum Sarovar. Anybody? Jaga's not on his job. Huh? Aw. Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guruve Kodachandraya Radhikaye Todalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anapeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taduachuhava Putre Tritanmayatayo Tadavo Banedush Tang Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vahinai Aparada Lakshai Chiptascha Kamaditarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapadam Inde Namaste Charanararindam Tavevasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Sharanantike Angashamalim Chatabirabito Mandi Kritendi Varam Jadyam Jagurarochitam Vidadatam Patam Parasya Shriya Rindaranya Nivasinam Hirilasatam Abhiramodaram Radhaskanda Niveshito Jalabhujam Dhyaim Tamodaram Dhyaim Tamodaram Kripayati Adi Radha Badita Shesha Badha Kima Paravishishtam Pushti Maya Dayorme Yadi Vitatisha Kinchit Smera Hashoditashir Dvijavara Mani Panktya Mukti Shuktya Tadakim Shama Sundara Shakanda Shekhar Smera Hasamurali Manohara Adhika Rasika Mama Kripanidhi Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Prananata Rishabhanunandini Shri Mukhabja Rasalola Salpata Rami Rasi Kendra Shekhar Manatavati Balaba Janma Janmani Madishvari Priya. First of all, I offer my heartfelt obeisances to my beloved Holy Master, Nitya Vishwam Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishi Mad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Also went to Nitya Vishwam Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishi Mad Bhaktivedanta Bharti Goswami Maharaj, Nitya Vishwam Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishi Mad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to our entire Rupana Guru Varga, our guardians on this path of bhakti. To all the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Huh? All right, well, after many, many millions of births, we've made it to the human form of life, and we've made it to Shri Radhakund. Very, very rare. So I wanted to just say a couple verses. I don't remember. I feel like we went everywhere yesterday, but thanks. So, 11th verse of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita. Oh, huh? 11th. Yeah. Yep. Krishnasyochai pranaya vasati prashaivopi radha kundam chasya munibirapitas tajigeva vidyahi ya prashterapi alam asulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam ta premedam sakridapi sarasnaturavishkaroti. After thorough deliberation on the matter, the sages have unanimously declared in the Padma Purana that just as amongst all the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the foremost object of Shri Krishna's great love, in precisely the same way, This pond of hers is also the topmost object of his love. Upon one who simply bathes in its waters just once with great devotion, Shri Radhakund bestows that rare treasure of Gopi Prem, which is so immensely difficult to attain, even for such dear devotees of Bhagavan as Narada. What to speak of ordinary sadhaks? So, we've heard that even Krishna takes bath here 3 times a day, right? So it's a very rare. I mean, I don't understand her glories, but we see that as we went yesterday. I don't really remember where Shamradi left off, but as we see from being there, that Raghunath Das Goswami, he did his bhajan there. He wanted to give up his life, right? And then Rupa and Sanatan both said, no, no, no. If we could attain, Sanatan Goswami said, if I could attain Krishna by giving up my life, I would have thousands of times. So they set him up nicely on the banks of Radhakund. And even now, today, there's 24-hour kirtan going out there outside of his samadhi. His Pushpa samadhi is there. And on the, so as we heard yesterday, Radhakund on the right, Shamakund on the left, and there's like what's called the Sangam, the middle. But it's actually, so there's it's one, same water because underneath the waters are meeting. So then there's like these steps that go up, and then behind there are the bhajan kutirs of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami, and then Srila Vishwanath Chaudhary Thakur, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and then the Arjun trees, Pandavas there doing bhajan. So see that everybody wants to be being there at Radhakund. Srila Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, has a mat there. Very, very beautiful Radhakunja Bihari deities. Actually, it's a really sweet place. And then I was on Parikrama once, and it was always like a race to try and keep up to the front, to be as close to Srila Gurudev as possible amongst the thousands of people. And one time I got to be up real close, and then there was Gurudev stopped, and he put his head on this well, and he said, this is Raghunath Das Goswami's well, where he would get his water to take bath, and that was really cool. So it was hard to be in front. So I guess we can separate for a minute and take bath again. So what I've learned, I don't know, Chaitanya Shakti, did you hear this? That you go into Radhakund, and then to Shamakund, and then back to Radhakund. So we can split up, boys on one side, girls on the other, and take bath. Dip 3 times. Dip an extra time for all your loved ones back home.
You're all here with me.
Jai. I also wanted to read. Yeah. And we can do now. We can do now. Jai. Yeah. Why do we hear about the 6 Goswamis together? We hear about them, but we don't know. But what was it? Sorry. We see them all together. We don't hear about them being all together. That's a good question. I don't know why we don't hear about them being all together, but we've heard about Rupa and Sanatan being together, and then they get sent, right? Because they all had their own sevas. Jiva Goswami was, Gopal Goswami was, and Raghunath Das Goswami both. Mahaprabhu told them to take care of their parents, and then go join Rupa and Sanatan, right, after their parents leave. So they did that. And who's left? Jiva. Jiva was with them. He gets sent to them. And then Raghunath Bhatta. Raghunath Bhatta we don't hear much about. He's the mysterious one, but who would recite every Bhagavatam verse in 5 different tunes, and everyone would melt. I said his voice was so enchanting. But it's so interesting. I know this probably is just my speculation, and I'm just going off on a tangent. But it just reminds me, Chaitanya, that like so many people would say like, "Oh, I never saw Srila Prabhupada and Srila Narayan Maharaj together. How are they so close?" And then when I went to I didn't. When Srila Bharti Maharaj found me, I didn't look for him. Then people were telling me that too. Like, well, I've never seen him and Gurudev together, so how is it that they're so close? And then I start hearing all these stories from Sri Madhava Priya Prabhu and Sripad Santi Maharaj, and that how much they, like I was only there for 10 years. So like, what do I know? What did I see? I mean, and with pure devotees, it's not even what we're, like their relations, they don't have to meet every day. Like I feel like, oh, if I don't talk to someone in a month, then like, oh, are they okay with me? Are they upset with me? Like I feel like I have to have that connection of talking, whereas the pure devotees, and we even see with our gurus and Didi, like it's not like they're on the phone every day, but they're the same, they're one in heart. So that just came to me, Chaitanya Shakti. Thanks. So this the Pranam mantra, actually, that we used to say at Radhakund when we get there is from verse 98 of Vilat Kushmanjali. It used to be in the songbook, but it got taken out, I think. It's so beautiful. Hey Shri Sarovara Sada Twai Samarisha Prashtena Sardami Hakelati Kamarangai Twam Chet Priyat Priyamati Vatayorti Mam Hadarshaya Jakipaya Mama Jivatam Tam. Oh, Shri Radhakund, my Swamini, Shri Radhika, always enjoys amorous sporting pastimes with her beloved Shri Krishna along your banks. You are more precious to them than life itself. Therefore, kindly grant me darshan on this very day of Shri Radhika, who is the life of my life. So, our aspiration. Yeah. So we've gone around, we saw Lalita Kund, we had darshan of Mahaprabhu's sitting place. Madhavendra Puri has a sitting place. Shrivalabhacharya has a sitting place. I don't know what else Didi wants us to do here. I think that, for me, I feel like our Radhakund Parikama is complete. And we know that, or we've heard, they come here midday, right? Krishna and the gopis, this is a midday pastime meeting place. So we will continue walking. Oh, Che or Che go? Chaitanya Shakti, you left? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Today's not, Samuki's calling me. Maybe someone else can take that. Today's not Surya Kund also, is it? It's another day, because we have... Yeah, but I know we have to go there by bus. I think we'll go there by bus tomorrow or another day. So before we leave this most highest of high places, let's again offer our pranams, roll in the dust, pray to the dust that we can remember these pastimes, be absorbed in them, versus opposed to being absorbed in our own, or at least for myself, my own stuff. And Radhakund ki. Maybe next week we'll start Upadeshamrita at 5 in the morning as well. Huh? Yes. Yes. Yeah, please. Yeah, Jagannath Prabhu's asking something first. Yeah, Jaga Prabhu. Okay, good thing we have a translator. You know his question, or does he need to say it? Oh.
How is Krishna's presence felt in the life of a sincere devotee?
Whoa. Wow.
This is his question.
Such a nice question. Did you answer him, Narada Prabhu?
No, because he was answering to Didi, but he didn't have the moment to.
Oh. Does he want to wait until she's here tomorrow?
Tu attends de demander à Didi? Okay.
Beautiful. How do you say beautiful in French? Que bon. Question is que belle. I love it. Yeah, I don't know any. Yeah. Anyways, even if we're gonna go to Kusham Sarovar on the way back. Haridas is gonna, and then we can cook. We're Giriraj. Oh, we have.
What if
for you.
someone went to the Dom and then when they came back, they had to go to work and stuff, and they felt like they didn't get to receive the juicy mercy of the Dom, and they feel really dishonored.
Oh.
What should that person do?
Yeah. So what if someone went to the Dom and then comes back to the West, goes straight back to work, so it doesn't feel like they got the juicy mercy of the Dom? Did they feel like they got? Did they feel the juicy mercy when they were there, and then like kind of lost? Feel like they couldn't hang on to it because they had to go back to work?
What if they felt kind of offensive and not so good when they were there too?
Did they pray for the juicy mercy?
Yeah.
Did they pray to be free from offenses? Srimati ji. Well, I don't know. I guess I would say probably to keep praying for that juicy mercy and to absorb, like read the juicy mercy pastimes.
What if it's not gonna what if they're scared that it's gonna keep happening when they go to the Dom and they're just gonna come back and empty husk instead of a filled vase?
Mm.
They're sad. I feel like an idiot.
Hey. Well, we finished Radhakund, and before we left, we were just discussing actually two beautiful questions. Chaitanya Shakti is asking, what if someone goes to the Dom, feels too offensive, didn't feel like they received the juicy mercy, comes back, goes to work, and isn't feeling like the bliss and the mercy that the Dom is giving, and what to do about that. And then Jagannath Prabhu asked, how do we feel that Krishna is giving his mercy to the sincere practitioner, right, Narda? That was
How can we experience that?
how's Krishna's presence
Krishna's presence
felt in the life of a
in
sin.
the life of a sincere devotee.
So that's where we're at before we go to Kusham Srovar. So you came at a perfect time.
Why?
Because you can answer those
You
and then,
already did.
well, I don't know, you can expand. Okay. And then we'll go to Kusham Srovar and then we'll go.
So, Chaitanya Shakti Didi's question is, what if after, correct me if I'm wrong, what if after visiting the Dham, you don't feel anything that you got from it, and you go back to work, to your daily grind, not feeling anything that you got from the Dham? So the question is what? If a person feels despondent about that, then what to do? Okay. If you're going to buy a product, you're collecting for that product. You haven't gotten the product. You're still collecting, but you're collecting for the product. At a certain time, it starts looking like it's in sight. Or maybe I can get a cheaper version of that. So similarly, going to the Dham, willingly or unwillingly, unless we've committed offenses, we're collecting sukriti. Sukriti means like points, but it's not bhakti points. It's points so that later on that will turn into bhakti. Bhaktistu bhagavata bhakti sangena parijayate satsanga labhyate punbir sukritai purvasanskritai. After many, many millions of births of collecting this sukritis and getting certain impressions on your heart which you may not be aware of, at that time when you get the association of a pure devotee, by his association you can become a pure devotee. So you start feeling the results at a certain, when you've collected enough money, a hope is in sight. So when you've done enough sukritis, then you start feeling some kind of bliss. But it is there. It's just not perceived until a certain point. Srila Prabhupada explains that. I believe it's in the Krishna book. But I read it in many, many years ago and felt reassured by that. Does that answer it? At least you have intellectual awareness because you have faith in the scriptures that something's happening. Okay. All right, then the next question is, how do you experience? Well, it's felt, how is Krishna's presence felt in the life of a sincere devotee? Well, that depends on how sincere, and that depends on what you mean by presence, and it depends on what you mean by felt. In other words, there's intellectual, are you understanding? I think we need Narada. Can you help him? Can you sit next to him and translate what I just said? I said, it depends what you mean by sincere. It depends what you mean by felt. Yeah, so basically, if one is very sincere and advanced, then that person can see Krishna everywhere, inside of him and outside of him. He experienced Krishna's love, mercy, darshan. And then, if one is less advanced, then he can experience Krishna in the good things that's coming to him. Like I have an opportunity to learn the scriptures, to chant the kirtan. I don't know how it happened after being a loafer in Haiti, but somehow Krishna brought me here. Yes? Okay, so it depends on what you mean by sincere. And then it depends what you mean by felt. I can feel it intellectually. Like, how do you know that the sun is right here? You're not seeing the sun here in the room, but what you are seeing is the sunlight coming through the window. So you can understand Krishna's presence by his energies working. And like, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the taste in water. I'm the ability in man. So a pure devotee, he'll see Krishna there, personally. But a conditioned soul striving for purity will understand with his intelligence. He'll see through the eyes of Scripture. Oh, there's the sun. The sun is the eye of Krishna's universal form. Krishna says that he is the original seed of everything. Oh, something just started. That's Krishna. So through the scripture, then you'll... Avez-vous Bhagavad Gita as it is? Anglais? You gave it to him? Oh, great, great. So, you didn't know I knew French, did you? Yes, so read it and then practice intellectually seeing through that page of scripture. Does that help? And then pray for that higher sincerity when you'll see his form, beauty, feel his love everywhere you go. Like, I was just hearing a lecture of Prabhupada last night, and he was saying that this rich man has a dog, and he takes the dog out for a walk every morning. Can you translate that? And what is the dog doing on that walk? He's passing stool here. He's passing urine there. He's barking here. And as you, wait, as you might have seen in this neighborhood, because practically everyone has a dog. They have a leash in one hand, and they're being pulled by the dog. And in the other hand, they have a piece of plastic, like a plastic bag. And with that, whenever the dog passes stool, they take the stool in their plastic bag and keep holding it till the next passing. Why? Does the rich man feel it is my duty to do this? No, he has love for the dog. And so he's giving him all facility to pass stool and urine. So Prabhupada said, so we jivas here in this world, We're busy passing stool and urine. You are the doer, yes. And Krishna is there with us, giving us facility. And also giving us the result of going the wrong way and the right way. C'est si bon? Okay. Okay. Now we're going to Kushum Sarovar.
I wanted to ask one question.
Okay.
Just because we're leaving Radhakund, and we just heard in Nectar of Instruction that this is the highest of the highest place. Prabhupada even says, what man of intelligence would not perform bhajan here? But its glories are like hidden in some ways. Can you just, but while we're leaving here, explain something of why, how we could remember why this is such an important place?
All right, so the question is, we're just now leaving Radhakund, and we've heard that this is the most important place of Krishna's pastimes. Nobody else comes here except for Radharani's Swapaksha gopis. So now that we're leaving, how can we remember this place as such an important place? How can you remember anything you've read, heard, seen? How? By going over it again and again and again. Everyone you see, like there's Haridas. Hey, brother, I got to tell you about what I just heard about Radhakund. And then you go to Narada and say, you can't imagine what I just read about Radhakund or what I just saw. And when I look at it, I don't see that. But I've heard from Srila Gurudev that this is really what's happening here. And I've been there. So like that, you just keep going and going and going. Don't talk about anything else but what you want to remember, not what you want to forget. Does that help? Like I mentioned a few times that Gurudev said in Badger that so now I'm giving a class, and if after the class you talk with your friends about something else, then it'll evaporate into the air. And if you talk about it, then it'll go down in your heart. Okay. Gaur Premanandi. So now we're going to Kushum Sarovar. Turn it back to the Panda.
So we got about a 20-minute walk. Yeah. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now we've arrived here on our right to this most beautiful place of Kushum Sarovar, and we'll hear its sweet pastime from Haridas Prabhu.
Page 197. Agyanatimirandasya gyananjana shilakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Offer my obeisances unto my Diksha Guru Srila Bhaktivedanta Van Gosamaraj, to my Shiksha Guru Pujaniya Shamati Shamrani Didi, and to all of you, thank you for this opportunity to remember the glories of Kushum Sarovar, Giriraj Maharaj, especially on this day of Anukut. So, Kushum Sarovar, I am going to read directly from the book. So Kushum Sarovar is on the right side of the Parikram path, about 1.5 miles southwest of Sri Radhakund. A forest of flowers, Kusum, was here full of varieties of trees, creepers, and flowers like Beli, Chameli, Juhi, Yuti, Malika, and Champak. Srimati Radhika used to come here on the pretext of picking flowers with her friends, but her real intent was to meet with Rasik Shekhar Krishna, Sri Krishna, with whom she would have love quarrels and sarcastic exchanges full of ras. Krishna Bhavamrita, which I believe was written by Krishna Bhavanamrita, which I believe was written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, describes how one day Srimati Radhika was picking flowers here with her girlfriends when Krishna arrived and the following exchange occurred. Krishna said, "Who's there?" Radha said, "Nobody." Krishna said, "Tell me honestly, who are you?" Radha said, "Nobody." "You're speaking in a very crooked way. And you speak in a very straight way, don't you? I'm asking you who you are. Don't you know? What are you doing?" "Picking flowers to worship the sun god." "Have you received," and this is Krishna saying, "have you received permission from anybody to do so?" Radha says, "There's no need for anybody's permission." "Aha, I have caught a thief today. I wondered who was stealing flowers every day and ruining this garden. Now I have caught you, and I will punish you straight away." Radha replied, "Since when have you become the master of this flower garden? Have you ever planted a single flower here? Have you ever even watered one? On the contrary, you ruin this flower garden with your hundreds of cows and thousands of cows and your boisterous brazen friends. Indeed, since when have you become the protector of this garden?" Krishna says, "Do not defame a pious, righteous person like me. Now I shall teach you a good lesson." Radha is smiling. She says, "Aha, you are a highly pious and righteous person, are you? You killed a woman right after your birth. You lied to your mother in childhood. You stole butter from the houses of the neighboring gopis when you became a little bit older. And when you became a little bit older, you stole the clothes of the young gopis. Only a few days ago, you killed a calf. This is the extent of your pious, saintly conduct." Hearing this retort, Krishna scratched his head and looked towards clever Madhumangala, who advised him, "One's well-being lies in remaining quiet." At this point, all the Sakis surrounding Shyam Sundara began to clap. They surrounded him, they began to clap. Srila Gurudev tells another pastime that took place here. One morning, Srimati Radhika and her Sakis came to the banks of Kusum Sarovara to pick the beautiful flowers, Beli, Chameli, Juhu, Malika, Champak, Kanera, and the other flowers that bloomed here. Srimati Radhika saw a tree with a branch of flowers. Knowing that she was coming to Krishna, Kusum Sarovara to pick flowers, playful Krishna had climbed a tree. In fact, he climbed that very one that she was picking the flowers from. Using all his weight, he pushed down the branch and remained hidden in the foliage so that Srimati Radhika could not see him. Radhika pulled down that branch with one hand and was absorbed in picking its flowers with the other, when suddenly Krishna shifted onto another branch. The branch sprung up, lifting up Radhika with it, and she cried out for help. Krishna leapt out from the tree and caught hanging Srimati Radhika in his arms. The Sakis began clapping and laughing loudly, but Srimati Radhika released herself from his embrace and scolded him harshly. Now, fortunately, this flower garden at Kushamshrova has completely disappeared. But fortunately, our dearmost Srimati Shamarani Didi and the many great teams of the GVP artists, including Manjari Didi, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, even Lisanti Didi and Aniti Didi, helped repaint and have a picture of this scene in Giri Hari Govardhan Mat. And this is Kusum. Oh, good. Is that the palace that I'm about to talk about? I think. So, in 1767 AD, Maharaj Javahara Singh of Bharatapur looted the royal treasury of Delhi. Whoa. This was right around the time America was being founded. The treasury of Delhi was looted by Maharaj Javahara Singh. And with that money, he built ornate stone ghats. What a nice thing to do. With steps down to the water's edge. To the west of this sarovar, this pond, is the cenote graph, which I believe means the burial place, of Raj Surajamala, flanked by the centographs of his two queens. And there's a temple of Uddhavji here. So it's a nice thing to do. So if anybody's there watching online, if you happen to be a thief looting any cities and you would like some nice things to do, it's a very long-standing tradition to build temples with that money. Wink, wink. Oh yeah, can you Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the first part of it, where Krishna is sitting on the branch. So recall, Krishna had heard that day. He knew Srimati Radhika. He'd heard Srimati Radhika was going to be going and picking flowers. We heard Juhu, Beli, Chameli, Champak, Malika. And he went down to this branch and lowered it so that she would be able to pick those flowers. She didn't know he was there. He was hiding in the foliage. And right when she... And so she has her one hand on the branch, the other hand on the flowers. And then, right as she was doing that, Krishna, the one before this. Yeah. Brother Rod of Lion. Maybe. What was the first one called? Yeah, this one. No, not this one. Radha and Krishna jumping? Yeah. And so, right as she has her hand on the branch, one hand on the flowers, Krishna jumps off and Radhika flies up into the air. Krishna catching. And so then Krishna catches Srimati Radhika. All the Sakis clap. and Srimati Radhika scolds him harshly. And I'll say that her scolding harshly reminds me of the Ras Leela in chapter 32. Krishna has just reappeared into the Ras Leela. And it's interesting that then 8 gopis are described and how they respond to Krishna. What's really cool is reading from Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishnunath Chakravarti tour how simple actions by the gopis tell everything about who they are and what their nature is. And so the first 4 gopis are actually, 3 of them are Dakshin Bhav and are Vipaksha to Srimati Radhika, and they're like on Krishna. They're like, one of them has her hands folded and is holding his hand. Another one is taking betel from him. And then as the 5th one that's described is Srimati Radhika, it's just described that there's this one gopi who then gives him this very harsh, angry glance. And Krishna is very pleased by that glance. And we read in the commentary that's Srimati Radhika giving this glance, a very harsh glance. And this is what actually is most on Krishna's mind. He doesn't even notice the other Dakshin gopis who have come to him. He's only noticing Srimati Radhika. And on that note, I will end this pastime of Kusham Sarovar. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Oh, I should ask you first. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol. Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gora Hari.
Yesterday in class, you were saying that sometimes the cones disappear.
The what?
The cones?
Oh,
They disappear. And then Haridas was just reading that the tree disappeared. And then I've also heard that the nature of Guru is that they enter into your life with instruction and then they disappear and then again they reappear. So I'm hearing all these great places and personalities are disappearing. So I'm wondering, what is the real reason that they have to disappear, and where are they going, and what do we do when they're gone?
okay. So you're saying that the trees, that the kunjas disappear. Even I was mentioning yesterday that the Navadvip pastime places, which are visible at a certain time, when the Ganges changes course and floods that area, it becomes not visible. So you're saying that trees also disappear, like the Pandavas. Was it yesterday? Yesterday we heard that the Pandavas, in the form of trees, were doing bhajan of the divine couple's pastimes, and they requested Raghunath Das Goswami not to cut them down in order to make a rectangular shape out of Shamakund. And then you're saying that Guru also disappears sometimes, and then he reappears. So your question is, Why?
Why are they leaving and where are they going and what do we do?
Why are they leaving? Where are they going? They're always, where is the sun going at night when it disappears? And then it reappears in the morning. It hasn't really gone anywhere. It just disappears from the purview of our vision. Similarly, Guru is eternal. He's ready to return. Just like Rupa Goswami is still here. We can read his books and he's really present in his books. So Guru is eternally present, and that is how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was able to take sannyas from a photo of his guru, Srila Gorakishore Das Babaji Maharaj, because he knew that he's eternal. And he had the qualification to actually feel his presence and see his presence. So the disappearance is for experiencing separation. Just like Krishna disappeared from the gopis in the rasa dance. Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura and Dwarka. Why? To increase the love through separation. Because in separation, there's also meeting. Without having meeting and separation, then it's very dangerous. That means it's not real vipralamba or spiritual separation. Srila Gurudev quotes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as saying, and he went like that, saying that separation and meeting increase each other's value forever. It starts here in this world in a minuscule way, and then it increases forever. Even when you go back to Godhead, you'll feel separation and meeting, separation and meeting. And that increases the loving experience. Okay. Goa Premanandi. So, Pandit, do you have any announcements for today's preparations? Can you come and take the mic?
So today's Anakut. Woo! And we'll begin at 6 inside with bhajans. And then, but before that, we need to get the outside ready again, like we did for Diwali. Are you guys started? Is she making a halva hill or rice halva hill? And then, yeah. So when Smoky gets here too, decorations. So we need people to make they're making garlands. We'll decorate outside. We'll have a table with halva hill and Giriraj on top, and that thing where he gets bathed in. So there'll be